Today we will discuss about the rise of assertive nationalism. First of all, we have to understand what is meant by assertive nationalism. Nationalism is an abstract concept. Okay, so in the previous chapters we have already discussed what is nationalism and what is early nationalist, who are early nationalists or moderates. Now this is another current is going on. These people, they firmly believe in that opposition at every step, and they are the staunch opposition of British rule, and if required some of them also believes in armed struggle. So these people are known as assertive nationalists. But what are the causes why the people have lost their faith on our moderate leaders? So we have to go one by one. First of all, we will see that the exposure of true nature of British rule, recognition of true nature. See, the British came in India for trading purposes. Earlier it was in company, the East Indian Company, and the major aim and objective of the company is to earn the profit. Once the power is transferred from the company to the crown, but the aim and objective which was set earlier by a company was not changed. India was only treated as colony. The Indians are treated not at par with the British citizens, and obviously they are treated as secondary citizens. At each and every step there was a discrimination. So the young generation who are Western educated, now they, after coming down in connection with the Western education, once they get acquainted with the Western ideas, philosophies, and their living style, their administration and all, so ultimately they realize that British are whatever is doing not for the sake of the Indians, not for the interest of the Indians, because they don't have any kind of interest for the welfare of the Indians. Only their major aim is to earn more and more profit. Okay, so that is the true nature of the British rule, and once it is exposed, the earlier view of the moderates, these views are severely criticized and discarded by these assertive nationalists. And these leaders, they told the people, they started telling that until unless we free our country from the clutches of the British, so country's development is not possible. Number second, we can say the failure of the early nationalists. See, the early nationalist leaders, the failure of the early nationalists. Failure of the early nationalists. The early nationalist leader, they failed to fetch some significant development for the interest or for the sake of the Indian people from the British. The moderates, they made several demands, but as they have no connection with the common masses, they failed to make a successful movement. The British government didn't give ear to the problem of the Indians, and also so their maximum of their effort remain in black and white only. তার মানে কি যে আর্লি ন্যাশনালিস্ট যারা লিডার ছিলেন তারা কিন্তু চেয়েছিলেন দেশের খারাপ চাননি, তারা কিন্তু দেশের ভালো করার চেষ্টা করেছিলেন, কিন্তু ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যেহেতু তাদের সঙ্গে সাধারণ মানুষের কোনো যোগাযোগ ছিল না এবং তারা যেভাবে যে পদ্ধতি অবলম্বন করেছিলেন সেই পদ্ধতিকে ব্রিটিশ গভর্নমেন্ট পাত্তা দেয়নি, ফলে স্বাভাবিকভাবে কিন্তু তারা কোনো সুনির্দিষ্ট লক্ষ্যে পৌঁছতে ব্যর্থ হন এবং তাদের এই ব্যর্থতা, the failure of the early nationalists actually paved the way for the rising of the assertive nationalism. লোকে তখন ভাবতে, the people started thinking that until unless they made a mass movement or they may choose a armed struggle to shake the very base of the British government, that nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to change the atmosphere. Number third আমরা দেখতে পাবো, that is the influence of the international event. Influence of the international events. There was a myth of European superiority. The countries of Asia and Africa, which was actually occupied by the British and other European countries, they used to propagate an idea of European superiority. They used to tell that European power is invincible power. Okay, they are much more far developed than these parts of Asia and Africa. Their culture, civilization, each and every aspect, they are superior. But the culture and you can say civilization is inferior than their European civilization. So they inculcate the idea of European superiority. But in several instances, ultimately come down that Japan, a small country, they defeated one of the large country of Europe, the largest country of the world, that is Russia. They defeated Russia, and Boers in Africa, they also resisted the British forces and other European powers for 2 to 3 years. This gave a lesson. This gave a lesson to the Indian masses, those who are in favor of assertive nationalism. They thought, if Japan, a small country, can defeat Russia, if Boers, a small tribal group, they can resist the British forces effectively, if we are united together and make a popular resistance or mass resistance, the day will come, the British will be forced to leave our country. তাহলে কি আমরা যদি এই আন্তর্জাতিক ঘটনাগুলির দ্বারা কি হয়েছিল, যখন আমরা দেখতে পাবো যে জাপান ডিফিটেড রাশিয়া, জাপান একটা ছোট্ট দেশ, তারাতে রাশিয়ার পর্যন্ত, the Boers of Africa, they defeated the European powers. So all these factors together ultimately come down to the Indian people, come down to the conclusion that if they made a popular resistance, then obviously the day will come that the British will leave our country. And at this juncture, the ideology of assertive nationalism got popular among the young masses. Okay, so it got momentum. The assertive nationalism, it can be divided in two parts. One is, you can say, passive resistance, those who believe in mass movement and all, and another one is armed struggle. Passive resistance and armed struggle. And number fourth, it is the repressive policies of Lord Curzon. Repressive policies of Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon is one of the imperialistic viceroy of India, having very low attitude about the Indians. He always thought that all the Indians are dishonest and they are incapable of holding higher post and all. So, and he also wanted to establish control in each and every sphere of the life of the Indians. Okay, so that no tide of nationalism could be grown on this soil. So that's why he took some repressive measures. Okay, like you can say the Calcutta Corporation Act that reduced the strength of the Indians. You can say another fact is the anything which may be provocating in nature, according to the British, that person may be treated accordingly. Number four, the Official Secrets Act, and these acts are actually made, and during his, you can say, Lord Curzon, during his time, Curzon also in 1905 declared the partition of Bengal, because United Bengal is the north center of nationalism. He wanted to divide it so that the tide of the nationalism could be weakened. Okay. So now, what are the achievements? The demands made by the assertive nationalists almost all similar to the assertive moderate. Only their way of working, only their philosophy, their method of working is totally different from the early nationalists. Okay. So what are the achievements? We will see. First of all, যেটা দেখতে পাবো, they inculcate national pride, অর্থাৎ জাতির গর্ব, জাতীয় গর্ব, ন্যাশনাল প্রাইড। উই আর ইন্ডিয়ান্স, হোয়াট এভার উই আর, কালো হই, ফর্সা হই, সাদা হই, চ্যাপ্টা হই, লম্বা হই, ছোট হই, বাট উই আর ইন্ডিয়ানস অ্যান্ড উই মাস্ট বি treated at par with the British citizens and we must get liberation. This idea of national pride was inculcated by the assertive nationalism. They glorified our past. Okay, they glorified Samrat Ashoka, Samrat Akbar, and also they started the Ganpati and Shivaji festival. Ganpati and Shivaji festival. Number third, we'll see they also started writing to the vernacular newspaper so that and also literature so that they can reach the bottommost portion of the society. Okay. And number fourth, the culture of self-reliance. We the Indians are greatly dependent on the British goods, education system, services and all. Actually this was carefully made by the British government only, but the assertive nationalists, they started the culture of self-resilience, that is, and self-reliance, that is that this ideology of self-resilience and self-reliance means নিজের উপর নির্ভর করা, self-resilience আত্মশক্তিতে বলিয়ান হওয়া. That means we should not be dependent on the British goods as much as possible. So these are the major achievement of the assertive nationalists. Okay, and one of the major setback we have seen during 1905, once the British government declared Bengal will be partitioned, the people of Bengal, they rose and they protested heavily. The people are on the, this is first time the Indian masses, irrespective of their religion, caste, creed, they are on the street and they declared that they will unsettle the settled fact of Lord Curzon, that is the partition of Bengal, and we have seen due to their popular resistance, ultimately government abandoned the policy of division of Bengal in 1911 and they ultimately shifted also the capital of the country from Calcutta to Delhi. And also today we will discuss about one of the famous assertive nationalists, the father of Indian assertive nationalism, the Mr. B.G. Tilak. Tilak was a staunch supporter of assertive nationalism and he first propagated the ideology of Swaraj. Though the early nationalists also propagated, but he propagated vividly in broader aspect. He told Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. মানেটা কি, যে স্বাধীনতা আমার জন্মগত অধিকার এবং আমি এটা অর্জন করব. Swaraj is my birthright, a revolutionary line, and I shall have it. এবং এটা আমার অধিকার, আমি এটা অর্জন করবই. So the people, they hugely influenced by the speeches, by his writings, and he said, and he was sent several times in the jails, but in spite of that he never set back. His continuous strive for assertive nationalism, for awakening the country's illiterate people, made havoc on the Indian freedom struggle. He was the most major contributor in the rise of the assertive nationalism of the country. And not only that, he also believed another, that is the movement from the below. Movement from the below. That means we must make a strong connection with the subaltern peoples, because without them, without any movement cannot be successful. And Tilak was also aptly titled as forerunner of Gandhiji. Forerunner of Gandhiji. Tilak first propagated the idea of Swaraj. Just before Gandhi. Number second, he has got also close contact with the masses, mass movement, a staunch believer and follower of mass movement like Gandhi. Number third, deliberately used the ideology of Swadeshi and boycott much before these two weapons, much before Gandhi. So that's why he is truly termed as the forerunner of Gandhiji. So very next day we will learn the next chapter and the next tide of Indian nationalism, and after, you can say, after this phase from 1905 onward, there is a current phase that is known as assertive nationalism, and up to 1919 this phase exists, and from 1919 onwards the new era started, that is Gandhian era. Okay, thank you.